Live from Fox 5, welcome to the News Block.
Here are top stories on the News Block. Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani getting straight to work after his election victory. He's naming his transition team. New Jersey Governor-elect Mikie Sherrill touting her day one to-do list, how she plans to help Jersey residents that are struggling with rising utility bills. They've been the centerpiece of the president's economic agenda, and today the Supreme Court heard arguments on whether he's got the authority to implement tariffs. And check this out, the winds will be whipping up this evening as temperatures drop. We're going to have a full check of the forecast as well. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Antoine Lewis. Thanks for joining us for the News Block. A new era for New York as Mayor-elect Mamdani starts planning for City Hall. Our political reporter Morgan Mikie has been following his campaign since day one and joins us now with more on this. Good to see you.
Hey, Antoine. So Zohran Mamdani, now Mayor-elect, showing that he's ready to get to work today. And he introduced today 5 members of his transition team, which will include former First Deputy Mayor Maria Torres-Springer. Torres-Springer was one of 4 deputy mayors who resigned from the Adams administration earlier this year. They said at the time that they were concerned about Adams' ability to run this city after his corruption case was dropped by President Trump's Justice Department. Torres-Springer said today that she is excited to bring her experience to the new Mamdani administration. She will be co-chairing the transition team alongside former Federal Trade Commission Chair Lena Khan, United Way CEO Grace Bonilla, and former Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services Melanie Hartzog. And the team's executive director will be Elena Leopold, who used to work for former Mayor Bill de Blasio. Mamdani says that he will be continuing to appoint members over the next several days. And he wouldn't say, though, if NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch accepted his offer to stay on the job, but says he's looking forward to having a conversation with her soon. Mamdani also said that Andrew Cuomo, who called Mamdani after he lost a primary in June, never called to concede the race last night. He also still hasn't heard from Mayor Eric Adams about a meeting at City Hall, and he added that the White House has also not reached out, but says he plans to fight back if President Donald Trump tries to act on his threats to pull federal funding.
New Yorkers are facing twin crises in this moment, an authoritarian administration and an affordability crisis. And it'll be my job to deliver on both. It'll be my job to stand up for the city and also to ensure that we do not look at Washington, D.C. as if it is the reason for all of the problems right here in New York City. Many of the issues we are speaking about, they predate President Trump. They are issues that for too long we have turned a blind eye to, or we have sought to rationalize or normalize. And what I'm so excited by in looking at these incredible women who will be leading our transition is a track record of being able to handle multiple crises at the same time.
Now, Mamdani also wouldn't say if he will live at Gracie Mansion. Says he has to talk it over with his wife. Now, every mayor since Mayor LaGuardia has lived in Gracie Mansion, except for Mayor Michael Bloomberg.
So look, question, you've got sources in Team Cuomo's camp, so the no call to Mamdani, sour grapes or PTSD? What are you hearing?
It's sort of unclear right now. His team released a statement to a couple of reporters saying, I was not one of those reporters, but they did reach out to a couple of them saying that they felt like his speech was a little mean to them, aggressive to them. But, you know, you call somebody before you come out and give speeches, so it still doesn't quite explain why he didn't give somebody a call. He could have called before. Usually they call before they even come out and give their concession speech. Cuomo called Mamdani during the primary when he lost the primary, but he didn't call during the general election. So I think Mamdani wasn't too disappointed, but I think it goes to show just some of the bitterness held on during this pretty this campaign that got a little ugly.
It was
at the
intense
end.
and ugly. All right, back at 5.
I'm back at 5.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Morgan. Fresh off her election night victory, Mikie Sherrill hitting the ground running in Trenton today. The governor-elect meeting with current Governor Phil Murphy. Sherrill strongly campaigned on affordability and fighting the rising costs of utilities. She also announced what her plans are for day one.
And declare a state of emergency on day one and freeze utility costs. And then really we'll get right to work on the kids' online safety agenda, where we are going to take on those algorithms as well as stand up a committee of excellence so we can get information, because right now the tech companies have most of the information. Join the tariff lawsuit very quickly that other states are engaged in to push back on the tariff program that Trump is running that's really harming our economy here, and then get to work on the state budget.
Sherrill received 56% of the vote, where her opponent, Jack Ciattarelli, received just over 42%. Developing right now in the Bronx, police are on the scene in Castle Hill. 4 bodies were discovered inside an apartment on Lacombe Avenue. Neighbors prompted a wellness check at that location, and officers found the bodies of 2 women and 2 men with trauma. A firearm, we understand, was also recovered from the scene. Police are looking at whether this was a murder-suicide. The cause of death of the victims has not been released. Also developing, the feds have made 2 arrests in New Jersey, according to Fox News Digital. Sources say it's connected to an ongoing terror-related probe happening in Detroit. A 19-year-old from Montclair was arrested at Newark Airport yesterday after allegedly talking about going abroad to train with the terror group ISIS. He is expected to appear in federal court in Newark at some point today. A second young man was also taken into custody and is also expected in court. We'll have a full report on the 5 o'clock news. Further developing today, the Supreme Court heard arguments over the legality of President Trump's tariffs. The justices sharply questioned both sides and expressed some skepticism over the administration's strategy of declaring a national emergency to justify tariffs. President Trump has warned that a ruling against him could, quote, have catastrophic effects on the country's economy. If the justices rule against the president, he could still impose tariffs using other laws, but would face more limitations on just how fast he could act. Turning now to the weather, and a gorgeous day outside. If you had a chance to enjoy it, you did a good job. But we understand things are going to change. Audrey Pointe, is that still the case?
Yes, we have a couple of things that'll be changing in our atmosphere over the next, let's say, 12 to 24 hours, Antoine. We did see some peaks of sun today, but overall we did see a mix of sun and clouds across the region. Temperatures were above average for this time of year, very comfortable in the 60s in many spots. It's going to become even windier tonight. The winds have our attention right now, but they can be very blustery as we go through the overnight hours and into the first part of tomorrow. We could have wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. A few showers will also be possible as we go into the evening, very light, and most of that action will be happening off to the north. Let's talk about the temperatures first. Feeling good in Newark right now, 67 there. It's 66 down the shore in Belmar. In Central Park, we have also a reading of 66 degrees at 62 in Islip. 50s for East Hampton, same thing up towards White Plains, Poughkeepsie, and in Monticello. Again, a lot of these temperatures are above normal for this time of year. The winds have our attention. It's pretty windy out there with our sustained numbers anywhere between 10 and 15 miles per hour on average. However, the gusts are as high as 30 miles per hour in Islip, 24 in Central Park, and 29 out towards Newark Liberty Airport. Now, we are expecting gusts anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour, and that has prompted the National Weather Service to issue a high wind warning for the areas shaded in orange here, and for the rest of the tri-state area, it's a wind advisory. This goes into effect this evening. It will last right through tomorrow morning, so you're going to hear the winds howling outside your window during the overnight hours. Now, much in the way of rainfall just yet. You can see it just skirting portions of the Hudson Valley right now. We are expecting the biggest chance of rainfall up to the north of us. I'd say anywhere north of 78, there will be a chance of some showers as we go into the evening. A lot of it is kind of expanding over across western and central New York, but we'll start to see things kind of dive a little further southward into the tri-state area as we move along through the rest of the evening here. That line is developing along a cold front that is pushing through the Great Lakes right now, and behind that front, high pressure will come in and dry things out, but it will also become very blustery behind that front, and that's when the winds will really begin howling later on tonight through the overnight hours. So as you plan for the next several hours, it looks like we'll be mainly dry across much of the region. I think the exception will be areas to the north. Can't rule out a shower here in the city as we go into the evening. Temperatures will be comfortable, mostly in the 60s. By the time we get to about 11 o'clock, we'll drop to about only 59. That's actually our normal high for this time of year. We'll go mostly clear overnight. We are expecting more in the way of sunshine tomorrow, but it will be a blustery day and a much colder one, too. I'll have the details coming up. Antoine?
All right, we are warned. Thank you.